Mayor Curry and members of his administration in establishing the Jacksonville Community Land Trust. Speaking on behalf of the board and those we will serve, I offer my sincere gratitude and appreciation, Mayor. There are a few others I would like to specifically thank, including the Florida Housing Coalition under the leadership of Jamie Ross for providing expertise, advocacy, and strategic planning in the development of this community land trust. We are so fortunate in the state of Florida to have an organization like FHC that really is a leader in housing affordability, not only in the state, but across the country in establishing community land trusts. Big thank you to my board vice chair, Mari Qureshi, and the Jesse Bowl DuPont Fund for your commitment to ensuring the success in these efforts. Genesis Ed Solutions, under the leadership of Dr. Joy Hervey, has stepped in as a capacity building consultant along with Dr. Tom Bullock and has been instrumental in putting the pieces together to ensure that we get off to a great start. We've also received strong interest and support from the financial services industry, including Community First Credit Union, represented here today by Michelle Godfrey Watson and her team, ViStar, Wells Fargo, PNC, Wood Forest National Bank, and others, all of which are greatly needed and appreciated as we move forward. The Jacksonville Community Land Trust will continue to work and build relationships as a strategic partner with community-based organizations, businesses, neighborhood associations, and the philanthropic community, and the city to address the great need for housing affordability across Jacksonville. The JCLT's Board of Directors is made up of highly accomplished community leaders dedicated to one mission, namely to create new home ownership options for low and moderate income families and individuals in Jacksonville, Florida, which will improve neighborhood stability, promote economic development, and build wealth while preserving affordable homes for future generations. In addition to home ownership and board member opportunities, the JCLT is actively seeking partnerships with lenders, philanthropies, community-based organizations, and experienced home builders. We will provide more information at our open house and info session that will take place on July 19th at 5:30 p.m. at the Beaver Street Enterprise Center. The event will also be live streamed, so for more information on that, please visit our website at jacksclthomes.org. I also have to give a big thanks, a round of thanks for my board of directors, or the board of directors. Y'all are just so wonderful, and I can't thank you enough for all that you've done. Thank you. Finally, let me close by acknowledging that the need for affordable housing in our great city is too enormous for any one organization to tackle alone. I teach supply and demand as a professor of economics, and I see clearly that additional resources are needed on the supply side because the demand for affordable housing in our community is growing as it is across the state and across the country. JCLT is being launched as an innovative addition to the many great programs and organizations that are working already to address these needs, several of whom are with us here today, including Paul Tutwiler, CEO at Northwest Jacks CDC, Monty Walker, CEO of Habijacks, and I'm sure others. I apologize for who I'm missing. We look forward to partnering with these great organizations and the work they do to increase home ownership, wealth building, and neighborhood stability for low to moderate income individuals and families throughout the city of Jacksonville. And thanks to each of you for being here to help us with this announcement today. I hope to see you on July 19th at our open house at our new location at the Beaver Street Enterprise Center. Thank you once again for being here.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Sean Nesbitt, Programs Officer for the Florida Housing Coalition, and so happy to be here. And on behalf of the Florida Housing Coalition, I want to congratulate the City of Jacksonville on the launch of the new Jacksonville Community Land Trust. From our expertise in over 20 years of establishing community land trusts throughout the state, we believe the Jacksonville Community Land Trust will accelerate neighborhood stabilization efforts by putting an inventory of city-owned land to productive use and expanding options for homeownership, boosting renters onto the equity ladder who otherwise could not make the transition, and providing the opportunity for generations to come. The JCLT, as we like to call it, will serve as an addition to, rather than a replacement of, longtime community actors to increase impact towards the common goal of redevelopment and revitalization. The Jacksonville CLT embodies best practices and will serve as both a state and national leader in the reutilization of public land and help build individual wealth while maintaining affordable housing as a permanent community asset, reducing the ever-increasing need for subsidies and preserving the historic and cultural identity of neighborhoods. The Florida Housing Coalition is so pleased to serve as a trusted partner and advisor in the establishment of the Jacksonville Community Land Trust and looks forward to continuing to work with this stellar board of community leaders, the staff of the City of Jacksonville, the Jesse Ball DuPont Fund, and other leaders here in the room today so that we can ensure the strongest of starts for this important community endeavor. Thank you very much.
I think we're going to do group pictures now, and then Steve's going to take questions. So just give us a few minutes. Not me, Steve today.
Thank you. What questions can I answer for you? Thank you so much for all those questions that are kind of rolled into one. So the basic elements of a land trust, of a CLT, is to separate the cost of the underlying property. Wait a minute.
I hear that.
So a community land trust separates the, maybe I can stand way back here, separates the cost of the land from the construction cost for a single-family residence. And so we, as the Community Land Trust, will own that underlying land and lease it to the home buyer on a long-term basis, similar to what you see in the types of commercial leasing opportunities or ground lease opportunities that are very common. So by taking the land out of the equation, the cost of the home is lessened. And so we will be partnering with the City of Jacksonville on taking back or putting back into service lots that the City of Jacksonville has recovered in the community, and then we will be putting those back into service. So we'll be building on those lots and working with low to moderate income home buyers for that purpose.
So you'll build the houses and they'll rent them from you?
No, actually we'll be working with our partners like Northwest Jack CDC or Habitajax on the actual home construction. And then the home buyers will actually buy just the vertical construction, and they'll be placed into a mortgage, a community land trust mortgage, just very similar to a traditional mortgage. There's a resale formula. There's an underlying land lease, a ground lease that where we will own the property in perpetuity. So when they subsequently sell that home, it stays as affordable housing stock in perpetuity, because we own the land and all the parties to the agreements understand that that will be an affordable home in perpetuity.
Where will this be? Is there one area of town that we can go to and say, this is where it's going to happen?
We've identified a handful of lots where we intend to build initially, or to work with our partners in placing low to moderate income families into these homes. Initially, some of the lots are located in North Jacksonville and Northwest Jacksonville, but conceivably they could be anywhere within the Jacksonville city limits.
Why North Jacksonville? You would think this would be all over the city.
Right.
Absolutely, and so wherever the lots are made available is where we will be working.
Is this just city-owned properties that you'll be taking on, or are you also going out to the open market and buying properties?
Initially, as we start, they will be city-owned properties, but we're not limited to that. As we've talked with other CLTs around the state, the different business models are very diverse. And so as time grows and our balance sheet strengthens, we'll be looking at other opportunities as well.
Steve, what kind of an initial budget are you looking at right now, just to start with, and what's the growth goal? So, Mike,
As we're starting off, our just initial operating budget is only about $250,000. It's not limited to that, and so we'll clearly be building our resources and building income streams to build a stronger balance sheet, diversifying our revenue streams, and all of which will enable our long-term success.
Yes, Stanley Scott with the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. First question, why just the north side?
As I mentioned, Mr. Scott, we're just working with where the lots are made available. We don't have the capacity to go buy specific lots. We envision that there will be opportunities throughout Jacksonville over time, but we are working with the lots that are made available to us today.
Number two question, how many people make less than $35,000 on your board?
I think I know the direction of where your question is headed, and we are seeking to fill some open spots with members of the neighborhoods that we will be serving as a community housing development organization, or a CHODO. And so I don't know the specific answer to your question, but we are certainly eager to fill our board with members from the communities that we will be serving.
Hey guys, we're going to take 2 more questions from just the media. Just more questions from just the media. Thank you. I had a question in regards to qualifications for families looking to become homeowners. Across the city, we've seen a lot of issues with all-cash buyers. I know that this is a preventative measure to help keep that generational wealth in the community. So what are some qualifications that your board would be looking for when helping these families apply for these homes?
Primarily, that answer will come from the mortgage underwriters who will actually be approving or underwriting and approving the home buyers for these homes. Clearly, we'll be addressing low and moderate income home buyers, which typically is defined as 80% of area median income or less. And we anticipate that we'll be targeting more likely the 50 to 30% of area median income home buyers, and creating opportunities where they don't have opportunities today.
Good morning, Will Brown, WJCT News. How does the Community Land Trust establish trust within the community so that home buyers or prospective home buyers are willing to trust this organization to be able to own their own home?
What a great question. So the trust part of Community Land Trust is, of course, there's a legal sense of the property that's placed in trust as a community organization to be owned in perpetuity for housing affordability. But as far as building trust with prospective home buyers and the nature of what we do, then one thing that I could point to is that there's over 200 community land trusts around the country today that have been serving their communities in this fashion. So we're following on the lead of some of our predecessors and the experience and expertise that they have in serving these communities. And we will also be working, obviously, very closely with some of our community partners who are already working in this space. And so we won't be approaching this individually or alone. We'll be working with community partners that are well established. Home buyers will go through extensive home buyer education to make sure that they are well understanding of the nature of the program and how it works for their benefit. And then there's just ongoing compliance requirements to make sure that as they are in the home and residing in that home and ultimately have an opportunity to sell that home, that there are no surprises and that everything is transparent. And we look forward to seeing people at our open house on the 19th to address those questions further.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. If you have any additional questions, please just email media@coj.net.